You're listening to the Hello Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hello Well with Danielle podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Washington, and today we're talking all things chakra. What are chakras? Chakras are these points in our body. There's usually 7 most people talk about. You might hear it in a yoga class, or you might hear it in some, person who's more on the spiritual path, like, oh, your chakras look like they're blocked, or, we're going to do this yoga pose and we're going to open the chakras. So there's these different points in your body that correspond with, bundles of nerves, major organs that really focus in on helping you live better, or as I like to say, living hella well. And what you may not realize is like those headaches you're having, or those issues talking, or some other thing you're having, most likely it's connected to a chakra. And Reiki is a great way to kind of help balance and unblock those chakras. And that's a huge part of what Reiki does. I brought on today someone who loves, and knows everything about chakras. I brought on today Tammy Edwards of Colors Make Me Happy Too, who is another Reiki practitioner. She's actually a certified Reiki practitioner. She is also a Thai reflexologist, massage therapist. She is an art therapeutic coach, and she has this amazing 14-week class just all on chakras. So everything that she knows, she's amazing. She's knowledgeable on chakras. She's a chakra guru. She's been doing Reiki for about 5 years. And so she definitely knows what she's talking about. So I wanted her to come on today to talk about, explain everything to you guys about the chakra systems, but also her path in Reiki and her journey, which is really interesting. And I wanted to hear from someone else how Reiki has shaped her life and how she uses Reiki to help her clients heal. So stay tuned. Let's get ready. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining me on the Hello Well with Danielle podcast. How's it going?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I love the fact that I have another Black Reiki practitioner on the show. So I'm super excited and feeling the good energy. And I can't wait to talk to you about this because I know you are everything card carrying chakras. And so let's just jump right into it. Well, actually, before we jump right into it, like, how did you get to learn about chakras and just the use of them? What are chakras? I should say.
Chakras are your energy systems. They call it the wheel of life. It's the wheel of your life, basically, that spins continuously. And basically, Reiki, which is another system, helps that energy flow and keep your energy spinning. We have a lot of chakras. I forgot how many. Don't quote me right now, but there's many chakras. There's chakras in our hands, there's chakras in our feet, there's chakras in our whole entire system. But the main function that connects to the other chakras are aligned with our spine. From our root, which is the bottom of our spine, all the way to the top of our head, which is the crown. And anytime you're feeling stagnant in certain areas, you start feeling certain kind of pains. Like you could get headaches, you could get migraines, which is your third eye. Your throat could hurt, your heart, chest pains, stomach aches. For women, like our ovaries, cramps and stuff like that. And also lower back pain. Okay. So a lot of people think that they got to go to the doctors because something's wrong. But a lot of times it's stress. Stress of something that you're holding on to. It's stress. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a practitioner. Please don't quote me. Please don't. This is a PSA. I am not a doctor or a practitioner. This is just something that I have studied for the last 5 years. And it's connected to us. It's all about energy. And if people don't believe, like, energy is real and our aura is real. So our aura is linked to our chakras. So whatever you are feeling inside is what your aura is. Your the vibe. What can I say? Your aura that you give off to people. So like if you're having a bad day, that's what your aura is gonna send out. Like, and I believe it's like even 6 feet away from you.
Hmm.
So you could feel somebody like, I don't like their energy. Maybe that person's having a bad day or something. You may not like a person this moment, but later on down the moment, months later, years later, somebody from high school that you couldn't stand, y'all best friends now in adult years because the energy
It's
wasn't
different.
there. So it's different. And it's all growing pains as well because everything that we have learned from the womb is stored in our chakras from one of the seven, from our root all the way up to the crown. And the reason why they start at the root is because that's the root, that's the core, that's where everything is stored. And really, it's the earth star chakra, which is beneath our feet. But
Hmm.
when you're sitting down, you're meditating, you are connecting to the earth. You're walking, you're connecting to the earth. That's why they say when you're meditating, try to walk outside bare feet, because that's your earth star chakra. And that chakra also is connected to your root chakra. And again, it's all energy. So once upon a time, when you see people in those other countries, they're not walking with no shoes on, and where they're doing certain things, they're really connecting to the earth because when we do history, they didn't have shoes back in them days. You
Yeah.
know, gradually, us humans, we, tore up the earth. So, of course, we got to go with the time and do stuff, and everything is different. That's why the system now, you still have to, if you get in a certain issue with your body, you still got to go to the doctor. Let's be
Hmm.
real. You know, things are not the same. Medicine is not the same. The food is not the same. The environment, the air that we breathe in, everything has changed. But doing it this way, holistically, doing Reiki is a jump start because you could be having pains and do some Reiki, and it's like all of a sudden it goes away because you're starting to deal with issues that you are keeping stored in that chakra. So even in cancer patients, when they are doing all the treatment and all these meds and stuff like that, they do Reiki to calm their body down so they won't be so tense.
Yeah.
And some people, some doctors do it, some don't, but Reiki is in the medical field as well. So it's not anything fake. It's all about energy and relaxing certain parts of your body.
And so, for
That's
those
it.
who are not maybe familiar, even to know what the root chakra is and start seeing any of those, can we kind of do a quick breakdown starting from like the first chakra, which is the root chakra, explaining like where it is,
Hmm.
like any color associated with it, and any kind of thoughts around it, like starting with the
I have
root?
my girl here.
Ooh, love that. Let's see if we
So
can.
this
But
is my
note that sometimes
Reiki.
this will also be an audio, so not everyone will actually see the video version of it. So we'll just kind of explain,
Oh,
like, in case
okay.
someone can't see as well.
Yes. Okay, cool. So this is the board that I have, but again, this is the example. Or if you're sitting down in Indian style, or even laying down on your back, the root chakra, which is the color red, and I won't try to pronounce the actual sayings of the root
Girl,
chakra because I'm
bye.
still
We ain't
learning
going that far.
This is the bottom of your spine, your tailbone. The When you're sitting down, when you feel that pressure in your lower back, and it's normally at times of stress, that is your root chakra. Your solar plexus, that's the root chakra. Your solar plexus is now where your sexual organs are, your male, penis, woman, vagina, ovaries,
Mhm,
and that area. And the sacral, that's connected to your sexual, your inner child, your creativity, the
mhm.
fun side of you. The root is stability. It's grounding, your foundation. That's where you, if you don't clear
Security.
stuff up,
Yeah.
you can't manifest. Yeah, and security and the self of, um, a lot is definitely the root of how you grow, how you were raised is
Mhm.
stored in your root chakra. So Sorry to jump back, but I realized I didn't say that. Um, so the sacral is your stomach area below your breast, above your navel.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your intuition lies, your confidence, your decision making, being secure in the decisions that you're making, and feeling confident within yourself and within
Mm-hmm.
the decisions that you're making. Your intuition, really listening and tapping it into your intuition. That's your gut feeling,
And that's the
basically.
solar plex
That's
one, right?
your solar plexus.
Yep. And that
Yes,
color is
solar plexus.
yellow.
Yellow. So that's the yellow solar plexus. And then you have your heart chakra, which of course is your chest area. That is love. That's the bridge between the top six and the bottom six. I mean, the top three and the bottom three.
Mm-hmm.
The heart chakra is the bridge. That's the connector. That's the, because you can either make bad decisions because of your intuition being off,
Mm-hmm.
or you're overthinking situations. You could make bad decisions from your heart chakra. And heart chakra is where you're able to open up to receive and give love. Because a lot of people know how to give it, but don't know how to receive it, and vice versa. The heart chakra is a balance, and also teaches you how to set boundaries for yourself. That color is green. Then you have your throat chakra, which the color is turquoise blue. You never really see dark blue, but it's turquoise blue. And of course, that's in your throat area, your neck area, even the back part of your neck. So if you ever get in sore throats or, dry mouth or anything like that, you either talking too much or you ain't talking enough. That's when your throat start hurting. And that's just speaking your truth, knowing
Mm-hmm.
when to speak, um, thinking about how you're speaking and not speaking out of a place of a hurtful place, which is your heart chakra, or a place of just thinking you know everything and not really thinking about what you are saying first. So that's
Mm-hmm.
your throat chakra. Then you have your third eye, which is indigo or blue, dark blue, almost purplish blue. Um, that is in between that unibrow. That's your
Mm-hmm.
third eye. And that connects us to our intuition, to see deeper within us and to see the bigger picture. Um, in When I say the bigger picture, not the picture we paint in our head, of things how we think we want it to be, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when you're over in your third eye chakra, when you start painting pictures and start seeing things that ain't even there. That's an imbalance chakra when it comes to your third eye. And it's also connected to your solar plexus a lot because it has to do with your intuition as well. Um, so that's your third eye. And then your crown chakra is purple or fuchsia, or, those two are very close. So that is your crown, the way you think, the way, if you overthinking, the way you process information, you have an open mind to certain things. You're not shutting stuff down. You're not, you know, you don't really think twice, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when you start following your intuition. So again, that's why the heart chakra is the bridge, because the top three are how your bottom three work.
Yeah.
So the bottom three are linked very heavily with the top three, because if you're thinking something, you know something, that's you starting to listen to your intuition. Your third eye is, how can I say it? Like, yeah, you see bigger things, your bigger picture, and in your sacral, you start to get creative and try to make things happen creatively with the things that you're seeing. And then your root chakra, I think it's connected to your throat a lot, because that's where, your stability, your security, the things that you are storing, um, that you're not speaking about, you'll be able to speak about. And a lot of us don't start doing that until we are of age. And then we start realizing things and we're like, no, that don't make no sense. Why we were doing that as a kid? A lot of the shadow work happens from your root chakra, um, between your root chakra and your sacral chakra. That's where a lot of shadow work is, because shadow work now is, a lot of people think it's something demonic, and it's not. It's just dealing with that dark side that has been suppressed over the
Mhm.
years. In your root chakra, you can't be yourself, or you want to be this person but you can't because you're trying to create an image for somebody else, or your family is shunning what you truly like because this is the way or this is not the way, and whatever we say goes. So your sacral and your root chakra has a lot to do with shadow work, with which that means it's accepting yourself and being able to just truly, truly, truly live in your purpose, live in the now, while trying to raise your consciousness, which is your crown chakra and your intuition of being a better person while you're here. You know, a lot
So
of people, oh, this is who I am. You have room to grow. Okay, sis. No, not this is who I am, and then you got to love me for who I am. Yes, but we gotta also be a better person. Like, that's the
Mhm.
toxic side of stuff when you start saying, "This is who I am, and you gotta love me." No, I don't. I can love you from a distance, but if your energy is off, chuck the deuces.
I know that's right. So now that we've
Yeah.
told them exactly, what are the main 7 chakras that are in the body, though there are 50 million other chakras, but those are the 7 main ones that you may hear about in a yoga class or just people are just talking about chakras and doing like now that they know what they are, like how do you one know or identify when the chakra is open, block, or imbalance? Like, is there ways that people can identify that?
Yes. Normally in the real world, no, because we don't pay attention to that. But your body will tell you. A lot of times, like I said earlier, you start getting headaches, or you start getting migraines, or your throat start hurting, your heart start hurting, or not even your heart, but your chest, your stomach aches, your ovary, you're getting pain, or your lower back hurts. Those are ways to know once you understand the system.
Hmm.
And truly, I wouldn't have known until I did Reiki. I wouldn't have really understood any of the system, or how do I know? Because sometimes you're reading the descriptions and you're like, oh, that's why it's off, or that's why this and that's why that. Sometimes it's not nothing to do with your root chakra. Your root chakra is probably fine, but your solar plexus is off.
Yeah.
So you may read the root chakra description of, why it's blocked, but it really has nothing to do with your root chakra. It has something to do with your solar plexus, because it could be something from your childhood. It could be something, your sexual drive, or, because a lot of trauma, sexual trauma is stored in our sacral chakra. So a lot of things could just be triggered to where you think your root chakra is off, but it's really your sacral. So another way is with a pendulum, and I don't have one here, but a pendulum is another way Reiki practitioners or masters use to see where your energy is off. Because again, it's all energy. So they will use the pendulum, and the pendulum will tell you if it's blocked or open. So there's no real way you could read it and then do the work from there. But I honestly believe that through Reiki, you could really, really understand. And you could really, even if you go like 3 times, like a therapy session, and just
Hmm.
really get that Reiki energy, you shouldn't really be going no more after that. To me, 3 times tops, unless you trying to be a Reiki practitioner after that. Because if you got to keep coming back, that means you're not doing the work.
Right.
And if you're not doing the work, then you're gonna constantly have off chakras. But once you start picking up and realizing your habits, because that's what it really is, then you'll be able to start making those changes. And you know, granted, we're humans. We
Yeah.
always want to have issues. There's nobody whose chakras is like, unless they just sitting on the mountain and doing nothing, like a lot of monks and stuff, who they probably got issues because they overthinking stuff. So your chakras are never, um they're never gonna be 100% all the time. Now granted, I did do Reiki on somebody the other day who I thought was gonna be all the way off, and every chakra was open,
Wow.
because they don't hold stuff in them.
Hmm.
They don't. They know their trauma. They accepted their trauma. They're dealing with their trauma. They acknowledge certain things. So when they see a trigger happening, they know how to work with that. So it's like knowing your shadow will help you align your chakras. Knowing your history will help you align your chakras. Accepting certain things that has happened in your life will help you align your chakras. Stop denying stuff. Stop thinking you know everything. Stop not being open-minded. Like a lot of the things that block us, and you'll know it because it's in your gut. Like, I shouldn't not. I know this person ain't bad, but I'm gonna not like them anyway because that person don't like them. And then you having this horrible feeling inside of you because you're just following somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But you have your own opinion of them, but you're scared to speak on it, throat chakra, because of what other people say. It's to a point now you get lonely in these streets when it comes to your spiritual journey because you start not agreeing with certain things, or people start thinking you crazy, or you just start protecting your peace on a whole nother level. Like I literally cut everybody and kicked everybody out of my house last year. Like I'm like, y'all gotta go, because the energy was just all over the place. And I'm like, if I'm doing this practice, I can't have my house like this. Like, it don't make no sense. Nobody wanted to get right, so everybody had to go. That's how
Hey,
I
mad
knew
at you for
minds
that.
were off.
Yeah. And I love
Huh?
that I love that about, that you were protecting your energy, because a lot of us feel like, oh, well, this is our family and I got to do this and I should do that. And I call them the shoulds. And, especially when you are someone who's working with energy, I think that you are more, it's more in your face, like, oh my God, something is off. And I also love the fact that,
You're a sponge.
through Reiki, you're able to help other people, with imbalances or blocks in their chakras. But the thing about Reiki that I
Mhm.
love is that Reiki is this gentle healing modality, but it's powerful as can be. And I would
Ooh,
equate it to
yes.
something like a acupuncture, whatever. It's just like, for me, it just like, we run to the doctor to get pills and everything else, and
Mm,
all these different, sign up for these classes and all these things, when you could just sign up for one or two Reiki sessions and feel a lot
yep.
better quickly. How did you discover
Quick.
Reiki?
I was making bracelets.
Cute bracelet.
I started making, yeah, bracelets, and because I started tapping into my sacral chakra. I started doing things that made me happy. I didn't
Hmm.
care what nobody had to say. And making bracelets, like I was the one that, them strings back in the day where you did the layer
Yep.
and the box layer. Yeah, I was just crafty. I went to school. My degree is in graphic design. So I started to tap in back into my art side, and bracelet helped me because I learned that my last son, I had postpartum,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to do the whole medication. So I started doing things to really calm my nerves, and making bracelets were one of them. And I wanted to learn what every color meant because I love colors. So I'm like, I know color therapy is real and stuff like that. So I went to go do my art therapeutic coaching course and became certified in that. And I just started seeing chakras, 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 chakras. I was like, what the hell is this? I ain't never I've seen it, but I never
Yeah.
paid attention to it because it was never us that was doing it. It was always the other
Hmm.
side. So I was like, oh, that's one of their things, whatever. But it kept coming up. Mind you, I just got baptized, and I kept writing in my journal, God, lead me to who I am, lead me to where I'm supposed to be, because I feel empty. Even though I was baptized, I still felt empty inside. And I just had this desire to really just fulfill me and do
Hmm.
inner healing. So I'll read my journal now and read back all of that. And that's all I was asking for the last 3 years. I um, kept seeing the chakras. I wanted to learn chakras. I looked up, where can I find chakras? A Reiki practitioner popped up all the way like an hour away from me. I drove to her. When I tell you, that was the best 3 hours of my life from an hour class. I I stayed an extra 2 because she wouldn't leave because that's how much I was in there crying. Even
Wow.
in my meditation state of mind, I was crying. So she wanted me to let it out because she said that's obviously something there that you've been holding in. Because as a child, I was always tormented because I cried a lot and they made me feel like crying was crybaby. So as I got older, that was being suppressed into my
Mhm.
shadow. Like I couldn't cry because if I cried, people gonna look at me like I'm a punk or think they could punk me and all this stuff. So I was in her office crying for hours. And after that, everything changed. And here I am today. So that's how I got in the understanding. She broke everything down. She was my Reiki master.
Mhm.
Because after she did that, when I saw my own aura glowing. That's how deep it was. So
Wow.
after that, she wanted me to come back so I could become a practitioner, but she told me to think about it. And it just kept calling me, calling me, calling me. So that's how I became a Reiki master and practitioner. But that's how I learned about the chakras. Because you go online, you could Google chakras and all this stuff come up.
Yeah.
So I that's why I created a program to where it's more simplified but also healing at the same time for us,
And I
especially
think
women of
when
color.
Yeah, because I think when you go online and you start looking up stuff on chakras, it's just so much information. You look at, there's the word, there's the mantra, there's a crystal, there's a color, there's, some other word that I'm like, I don't know what that means. That's another words in
Right.
Sanskrit. You're like, that says such and
Right.
such. And like, I ain't gonna ever pronounce that correct. So we ain't gonna try to learn that. And so it can be confusing. It's interesting hearing your story about how Reiki called you because I do believe Reiki does call people. So for me, growing up in
Yeah,
California,
it
like I
does.
knew of Reiki because I'm like, it's like one of those things like, oh yeah, Reiki, like acupuncture and, sound deprivation. Like it's just random things that you just hear about in these communities. I will say that when I first heard about Reiki, I was like, oh, that's not something that we do as people of color.
Right.
Because I was like, oh,
Mm,
it's just others who were doing it. And then I had a friend who is actually not was, she is Filipino. And we were out and she was like, hey, do you want me to do Reiki on you? I was like, dude, I need whatever you can give me right now. I'm going to need this because I was in a stressful situation. And I just felt amazing. And it's interesting. The first two people who did Reiki on me, one was Filipino, the other one was Chinese. And both of them had profound messages. Like one of them, was hearing messages from one of my cousins who just recently passed away. But also, I just felt physically and mentally better after doing Reiki. And once it kind of decided to allow Reiki to be more part of my life, I was like, okay, let's see about this. And like, I did, the Reiki 1 and 2 class. And then, I was like, oh, okay, let's do a little bit more. I did the Reiki, master class and then did the Reiki Karuna master class. And it has changed my life and how I show up on a day-to-day basis. Like I'm not the same. So like when you were
right.
talking about like you were cutting people and letting them go, I've definitely felt that way because I just energetically don't vibe the same. I'm not the same person because I don't have the same. I have through Reiki, I've let go a lot of the insecurities. I've let go a lot of the shadows
In a lot
things.
of
I've let
toxic
go.
ways.
Yeah, I let
Mhm.
go a lot of those things and getting more closer to my authentic self. How would you say Reiki has helped you in your day-to-day life or just your life in general?
Whew. I mean, my kids,
Yeah.
100%. I have 3 boys all under 12, okay? My youngest is 3. And, um, that used to torment me because it was by 3 different people. So I
Mhm.
was very insecure about that. Um, but, it was 3 of my major relationships in my whole 40 years, and granted, it's like one thing I realized with all of them is that I was following my abandonment issues in my relationship. So
Mhm.
Reiki has helped me get over those issues leading into my relationships. Because even like my last relationship, I just ended that like I don't want to do this no more. And unless you raise up to where I'm at, then maybe we could try again. But where I'm at right now, I don't want it no more. And that's how I've been carrying everything and everybody. Like, I don't
Mhm.
want to feel that insecure girl ever again. Like, so if you make me feel like the insecure Tammy growing up, I don't deal with it. I want to be who I am authentically. And I just want to attract people who authentically know that I'm not going to call you every day, or I'm not going, if I get in my moments, just let me come back on my own, or, cause I'm very 0 to 100. And
Mhm.
now I have a gray area. I used to warn people like, this is who I am. I don't have no gray area. I don't have no gray area, but Reiki has helped me master the gray area, especially dealing with my kids, because again, they're all boys and their energy level is through the roof from the time they wake up until it is time to go to bed. Like, I learned and I realized through them that my temper was very short, and
Mhm.
my emotions were very short, and I would get very frantic with them. And I'm just like, I don't like this. Why am I being this way? I love my babies. I could care less as their daddies run around,
Mhm.
because I at once upon a time thought I couldn't have kids. And just behold, one day, I just became fertile. So I thought I couldn't have kids. So it's just like, why am I feeling this way again? Went to the doctor, I went to therapy and all of that. And I realized I had postpartum. One time I realized I was depressed. All of this was in relationships with people that I knew I shouldn't have been with. So
Yeah.
now moving forward, I pay attention to a lot of the things. Not to say that I'm comparing the two, but I know how to protect myself better from things that I used to be like, oh, I could change him, or I could make him into what I want. No. So now I teach that to him, and you ain't gonna change no man if he don't want to be. He
But
knows what he wants.
but Reiki, I think, gives you that clarity. I think that's one of the great beauties of Reiki is it gives you so much clarity to see you for you
For who
truly,
you
but it
are.
also you could see other people for who they are. And I think that's why a
Mhm.
lot of people who get into Reiki end up shifting some of their relationships or how they show up because they're just seeing clearer,
Clear, I mean, clear
crystal clear.
as day. Like,
Yes.
I take baby steps now. Normally, in once upon a time, I was that girl who I meet a guy 3 months later. I already know what wedding dress I'm gonna have on with cake. Like, I'm already planning our whole future while he's just still trying to get to know me.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out if he want to even be with me. Like, what? So now I'm just more um I use a lot of discernment now. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I listen to my intuition more because I found out I'm intuitive. A lot of things I do say comes to pass. My mom always said in Jamaican terms that I have a goat mouth, meaning like a lot of things I say always come to pass. So I
Hmm.
have to start. I stopped doing that. I realized the stuff that I journal comes to pass. Like, so I had to put that into my relationship life too. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing that for that part, just only for things to make me feel better. So Reiki has definitely did a 360 as a woman who pick bad relationship wise. Like, you start having more confident within yourself. You start feeling, especially you have abandonment issues with your um especially the father side, because a lot of
Hmm.
women who have abandonment issues with their dad, they start seeking those things from men.
Hmm.
And Reiki helped me like get over that aspect, even forgive my dad, accept him for who he is, and realize I even went past him and started doing history of his childhood, his daddy. And I realized that that shit was generational. It wasn't even his fault, you know? So
It often
even with
is.
my
Yeah.
mom, stuff issues with that, you just really start digging. deeper, intuition, your third eye, and start seeing the bigger picture. Like, we hold so many grudges towards the past when if you really look into it, like, you'll be like, damn, okay, now I see why. So what are you going to do moving forward? That's why Reiki has a lot to do with focusing on the now. Okay, yes, you've been hurt, you've been traumatized, all this shit. What are you going to do about it right now? Because you can't go back and change it. That's one thing I learned with Reiki. Like, you can't change the past. You can focus on how you moving forward into the future that you're trying to manifest. Because again, our root chakra has a lot to do with our manifestation. And if you're holding on to stuff from the past, how you expect to manifest anything for the future? So a lot of those things I have learned. And I don't know where all this came from. Because again, after 5 years, you would think that I was studying it for years. No, I just kept asking God, and the universe just opens up to you. That's why now I understand why people say, oh, the universe. They mean that it opens up to you, because I still
Yeah.
believe in God. I still believe in all of that. I don't knock no religion or anything like that. I just know there's a bigger picture out there. And now I see universe is energy. What
That
are
it
you
is.
attracting?
And I know that
Yeah,
you're
the
in,
chakras
I'm
is
sorry, I was going to say, I
universal
know that
life.
you're in the
So,
DMV area and you have an event coming up.
mm,
Do you want to
oh
tell them
yes, I
about
have.
your event coming up?
I'm so excited because I haven't done an event in years. So, yes, November 21st, I am doing a chakra vibes unwind, and this is the yogi experience. So it's going to be a pop up shop / yoga classes. So, like, the first yoga class will be how to stretch, because a lot of people think that you got to be this flexible guru. No. So, the first class is going to be that. The second class is going to focus on your chakras. And the third class is going to be fun. We're going to do yoga twerk. So, those are the 3 classes that we're going to have that same day. And then we're going to have holistic vendors who um, they're going to provide like different bath soaks, wired wrapping. Like, one young lady, she did this for me.
Beautiful.
I brought her a crystal and she wrapped it. Jewelry from Africa, waist beads, candles, soy candles. We're gonna have holistic. Everything is holistic, and I just want people to know that you don't have to be like, a lot of people think you got to get into this whole Erica Badu mode. Erica Badu is Erica Badu. That's who she is. What are you doing to get on your path to find out who you are? I love Erica Badu because she's comfortable with herself, but then you put her next to Jill Scott. They're 2 totally different people who believe probably almost the same thing, but you could tell that they're different. We know Jilly from Philly is whole spiritual and into her life and stuff like that, who will wear wigs and weave and go natural when she wants. So it's just about your journey. You can't mimic everybody. You're not going to gravitate to everybody, because that's when your energy really changes. Like, I have friends that probably won't come to me for Reiki because they holding on to the old me.
Hmm.
And vice versa. I have some of my friends who will come to me because they gravitate to me. And that's what it is. So November 21st, we're going to do a chakra, like a 20-minute chakra balancing, where they just read where your chakras are off and, just heal that at that moment. But then if you need a full service, then you could book it later. But it's just a yogi experience, really. And that's going to be November 21st.
And how can people find you on social media? And we'll put all links in the show notes, but how would people be able to find you on social media as well?
For my chakras, everything chakras, and just education, is colors with an S make me happy too. So colors make me happy too. The number 2 at gmail.com, on Instagram, on Facebook, uh, all of the above. Colors make me happy. number 2. And then I have the Metaphysical shop here in the DMV, which, prayerfully by next summer we'll have a storefront. So right now people got to make an appointment because it is my home. But I did turn my entire garage, which that's where I'm at now, into an actual shop. And that's She's Royale Gems, with the S on She's and Gems, on all social media platforms, Facebook, email, IG. I'm just not on Twitter and Snapchat. It's just too much.
Yeah, I feel you on
But
that one.
Clubhouse, I'm on She's Royale Gems on Clubhouse. But that's how either one of the pages you could find
Okay.
me. But Reiki, chakras, and just being a whole guru of that life is Colors Make Me Happy too.
And we'll make sure to put all your links in the show notes. So at the end of every show, I like to ask my guests a couple quick fire questions. So one of the questions I always ask people is, what do you feel like living hella well living means to you?
Hello, well.
Hella well.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Yeah, to you.
Hell O-L, like hell
No, oh, sorry. So
O-L.
this is a
That's
very
it.
California thing. Hella, Hella. So hella, which means a lot or very and
Oh, a
well. So
lot.
hella.
Ooh. I think, oh my God. I think right now for me is everything is hella strong, like hella hectic. Like, but I
Mhm.
also got to stay calm in my hectic because that's what I do. That's who I am. So, even though it's hella hectic, I've learned to be hella calm
I love
in my
that.
own
Hella.
hectic. Yes.
Aisle, aisle or window?
Window.
Okay. What's always in your
I
travel
like
bag?
the window. Always
Always.
crystals
I love you. I
and
love you. I love you.
core wire shells because, I received my hand into IFA.
Yes.
So now I have crystals and core wire shells everywhere.
Love that. And what is one piece of advice you'd give to your future self?
Be calm. There's nothing you could change. Everything's gonna play out the way it's supposed to. So you trying to overanalyze things is just hurting yourself. So be calm. Living that now, not in the future.
Tammy, thank you so much for being a guest on the Hello Well with Danielle podcast and informing us and enlightening us on the world of, chakras, how to use them, how to know if they're balanced, and, just your Reiki story. So I think it's so uplifting and inspiring for people to see more people of color who are doing Reiki and realizing
Mhm.
that you ain't got to take a pill for everything. There are natural ways for
No.
you to heal. And it's just the matter of having the access to knowing that they exist.
And just being open to it. A lot
Yeah.
of us subconsciously hold on to traumatic experiences because of the attention that we get from it. But you get so much more than attention once you start really healing those traumatic experiences through Reiki. You don't have to be Superwoman that they plaster us to be. You don't have to be all these things that they make Black women out to be, especially angry. There's so many possibilities when it comes to Reiki and just truly healing. It's a superpower. I don't care what nobody say.
On that note,
I will never go back.
I'm gonna say amen. And the church says amen. Thank you guys again
Amen. Yes,
for
I would never go back.
yes. Thank you guys for being on another episode of the Hello with Danielle podcast. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.